Hey everyone, PT Hylton here. Before we start today's video, just a brief warning. This video will contain many adjectives like great, wonderful, glorious, things of that sort. So you're forewarned. That's because today I'm going to be talking about the books The Lies of Locke Lamora and Red Seas Under Red Skies, both by Scott Lynch. So this week and the week before, I think it was took me about 2 weeks, I read these two books, the first two books in the Gentleman Bastard sequence by Scott Lynch. And let me just say up front that I loved them. Wow, I was really blown away by them. So this review, I'm going to mostly focus on The Lies of Locke Lamora. I'll just briefly touch on Red Seas Under Red Skies. I always say that wrong. There's a few things that I really loved about The Lies of Locke Lamora. For me, it was a 5-star book. It's the kind of book that I look for when I'm looking for new books, and I'm such a fan. I can't overstate how much I like this book, I guess. I really don't have anything to complain about in The Lies of Locke Lamora. So a few things that I really loved about it. First of all, just the characters. The characters were wonderful. Locke and his fellow gentleman bastards are thieves. They are thieves that kind of target the nobility in their city, and they pull off some really elaborate con games basically against these people. And it's fun to watch the con games. That's always fun, in movies like Ocean's 11 or any con movie. I always love those kinds of movies. Think of what was that one by Ryan Johnson, The Brothers Bloom. You think of Grifters. Those kind of movies are always lots of fun. So this has an element of that, but what really takes it to the next level is the characters and their relationships with each other, and the way that that you really learn to care about them and love the characters. They're hilarious. They're funny, they're vulgar, they're brilliant, and they have really deep and meaningful relationships with each other, which is part of what takes this book to the next level for me. The second thing I love about the book is, for the first half or so, it's a very lighthearted book. It's life and death stuff is happening, but Locke's always got a grin on his face, and he's always looking at death, laughing in his face, and it's there's jokes everywhere, and it's just fun kind of stuff. You could, at the tone of it, you could liken a little to something like Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's like swashbuckling action, kind of fun, but it's always got a smile on its face. And about halfway through the book, some very serious stuff happens that makes the tone very much darker and really drives the second half of the book. And that is so effective, in my opinion, because of the lighthearted nature of the first half of the book. The way that when we do get those big emotional moments, they pay off so much better, because we've come to know Locke and his fellow thieves as just this lighthearted group, and when we start to see them in a different light because of what's happening, oh man, it has such an impact, and it was so effective for me. The third thing that made this book very effective in my mind is the way that it revealed information to the reader. Stephen King has a quote that's something like, great books don't reveal all their secrets at once. And this is a great example of that. That's something that I love when I read. It's something I strive for when I write. It's a tough thing to do, to give out information at almost like a miserly rate. Just give out the information that the reader needs. So there's always more mysteries. There's always surprises. We're learning more and more about Locke and about the history of this group as the story goes on. And I'm done with the first two books in the series, and there's a lot I don't know about Locke still. There's still a lot of mysteries in his past that haven't been revealed. But the way that Scott Lynch does it is very effective, and it's not like a thing where he's trying to make you buy the next book by just keeping certain pieces from you. He's a master storyteller, and he knows exactly the right moment to drop each piece of information on you. Like I said, I just love this book. I thought it was wonderful. 5 stars to The Lies of Locke Lamora. Red Seas Under Red Skies, just ever so slightly, liked it just a tiny bit less. I would say, 4.5 stars. It was still just as much fun. I love the characters even more than I did in the first book. It just doesn't have quite as much weight because of the storyline. It's really fun. They're pirates basically, and it involves piracy, and that part is really fun. It does take a little while to get going, but once they get out there on the sea, it's a very fun book as well. One example of what I was talking about with the way that Scott Lynch just slowly reveals information, and I was just thinking about this before I hit record on this video, and it would like kind of surprise me as I was thinking about it, because the character of Jean Tannen is basically the co-star of these books. He's just as important probably as Locke. If not, he's definitely the secondary lead character. And I was thinking about it, you know, he really doesn't come into play for a good portion of the first book. I'm not sure how much. I probably should have looked back at it, but I feel like for the first maybe third of the book, he's not even in it. I might be overstating that a little bit, but I feel like it's a while before they introduce him. And when they finally do introduce him, it's kind of telling the backstory of how Jean and Locke were kind of enemies for a little while as children, and the way that their relationship started, and then just the way he paces their history out to us makes their friendship that much more complex. One last thing I'll say about these is I read these in a very unique way, and I got to thank a couple Twitter followers for this suggestion. I had posted on Twitter, should I do the audiobook for these, or should I do the paper book? And a couple people had said, hey, why pick one? Why not go back and forth? And that's actually what I did. At times when I could read, I had time to read, I would be reading the book. But if I was like out, you know, in the car or out doing some yard work or whatever, exercising, I could listen to the audiobook. The audiobook was excellent, and it was a really fun way to do it because I was so immersed in this world for you know, over a week probably. I've been just really immersed in all my reading time, and even driving time and stuff like that has been spent with these characters. So I'm so glad I discovered these books. Thank you to those of you who have done videos on them in the past and turned me on to them. I know my friend John Monk also recommended these to me, so thank you to him. I love these books, and I can't do much longer with this video because I have The Republic of Thieves in my hands, book 3, and I'm gonna go read that now. So this is a happy PT. Excited about these books. I will talk to you later. Bye.